Good evening, hello, and welcome to Final Boss Fight. My name is Geoff, and tonight we're running a very seasonal, very special one-shot of Call of Cthulhu. I am joined by this group of hapless investigators I've managed to cobble together. I'm joined by Christy,
Hello.
by Stanza, by Brian, Croy Dragon,
Hello.
and by Robin,
Hiya.
who for some reason agreed to do this with me this evening. I'm sure nothing will go wrong.
You mean I didn't have to? Oh, damn.
Oh boy. I got to say before we start, this is
No.
this is a very special one for me because Deadlight was the very first Call of Cthulhu scenario I played as a player, actually on our channel. So I'm kind of glad to be revisiting the roots a bit on this one. Anyway, if we are ready, let's begin. It is a dark and stormy night. Cliched beginning, but in this case this is very true. And we open on a lonely forest road, rain absolutely lashing it down through the trees. The rain turns the road into mud. Visibility is down 10 feet in front of you. And we focus in on a car puttering along the road, going not very fast, probably only a few miles an hour. And inside this car we have four rather unique individuals. Can you all introduce your characters, please? Start with Robin.
So yeah, you see a woman probably in her, it's early 20s, I think. She has a bit of a lab coat on and big bags under her eyes, glasses which are slightly cracked, and very tousled blonde hair. She is Rose Preston, and she's currently got her nose in a book. A very difficult-looking medical book.
Question, who's driving?
We'll come to that in a moment. We'll go to Brian next.
Yes, Nevada Jones, age 35, a Harrison Ford-looking guy with the appropriate attire for the setting, fedora included. He's currently looking through some archaeological notes.
Danza.
Hector, I'm going to mispronounce this, sorry. Hector Bonilla, a trainee reporter who currently lives in New York City, but was originally from Puerto Rico, 19. If he's not driving, he's probably checking the map to help navigate.
And finally, Christy.
Grace is sort of neatly put together, not the fanciest clothes kind of thing, dark hair, from Canada, where she helped out with a lot of family and home life. Very curious about everything that goes around her, and is currently looking out of the window at the rain.
Show some artwork to set the scene as we start. So, just a few questions just to establish the scene. You're all travelling from Arkham to Ipswich along this lonely road. First question is, why are you travelling? Where are you going to in Ipswich? Is it an event? Is it a lecture? Where would you be going to on this dark and stormy night? Anyone can answer this.
Well,
Go on, you guys go first.
Halloween
ahead.
party, potentially, but...
Halloween party sounds good.
Yes, to meet with a colleague.
Grace is actually part of a detective agency. The other half of the detective agency isn't with her, so I would assume maybe going towards a case or coming from one.
Okay.
And I was going to say, Hector will have dragged Rose out from the library unwillingly, and is just getting dragged along to this party.
So
Because
you're
apparently she needs to get out of her shell.
so you're all travelling to Ipswich for this Halloween party. Some of you for pleasure, some of you for business. But you're all
Some of us
acquainted.
reluctantly.
Some of you reluctantly, yes. But you're all obviously acquainted with each other. My second question: who owns this car?
I mean, my best guess would be to compare credit rating and drive auto.
Or we can just choose someone to own the car if that's okay.
Do you want me to roll the dice for it? Just
The dice for it, yeah. See who owns
1,
this
4.
car. Yep.
Pick a number.
3.
Sorry, my cat's trying to get back in. Be right back.
Right, we'll assign that one to Brian. Oh, sorry, Christy, rather. I'll pick 1. Stanza?
What's the range?
1 to 4.
Okay, 4 then.
Okay. 4. It's your
Hey!
car.
Oh boy! I look forward to getting distressed over its demise.
It's Hector's car. My next question is, who is driving the car? It may not necessarily be the same person who owns it.
I do have drive auto. It's not fantastic, but it's there.
Happy for Hector to drive, that's absolutely fine. And who is navigating? Who is giving directions?
I guess Rose can do that while trying to read our own books.
Okay. And are you using a map, or do you know this area, or would you know this area in the
I was going
daylight?
to say using a map.
Very well. So we now have the scene of Hector driving, Rose giving directions from the map, presumably with Dr. Jones and Grace in the back seat. You're driving along at most miles an hour because the road is very treacherous through the forest. It's pitch dark, your lights are barely lighting the way ahead of you. When suddenly, Hector, you look out your windscreen and you see a young woman standing in the road in front of you.
Break!
Hector, can you make me a drive auto roll, please?
Yep, regular, I assume.
Regular is fine, yep.
Oh no.
You try and get the
Okay,
brakes.
we're going all in on the truck. I'm crashing after seeing a mysterious figure in the road.
Well, it's not that much of a crash. You're going very slowly, so it's not that much of a
Okay.
crash. You're just like veering off, slipping in the mud. You might accidentally catch the young woman. She falls to the ground, but the car comes to a halt. What do you do?
Okay, get out and see if she's alright and
Yeah, I was
apologize.
going to say, seeing that the woman's been clipped by the car, Rose would be diving out and administering any first aid that was needed.
Good plan.
I've come back in at a point.
We accidentally hit someone.
Okay, well that is very bad. Whose car was it?
Mine.
And Hector is
I
also
take
driving.
full responsibility.
Rose, you don't need to do too much to see that this woman is mostly unharmed, probably a bruise from where the car hits her. But you do see that she is... in fact, I've got artwork. I should have done the artwork for this as I was saying this. You do see that she is not dressed at all appropriately for this weather. She's wearing a very light dress, a very thin dress, which is absolutely soaked through to the skin. You help her up to her feet, and she just looks in shock. She doesn't say anything. She looks very pale. Probably breathing is a bit fast, but she doesn't say anything.
Does
She
anyone
just
have a
stands there.
Does anyone have a spare coat that we can...
Grace will take off her coat and put it on her. Well, lay it on her.
As you do so, you do notice that she seems to have a bruise on her forehead. Very vicious bruise on her forehead, which doesn't seem to have been caused by the car.
Well, that would certainly make somebody disorientated enough to walk in front of a car down a road. They're concussed.
But again, she just stands there and looks at, just like unresponsive.
Sorry, ma'am. So, like, are you alright? I try to speak to her.
She doesn't respond. She looks like she's in shock, actually.
Rose is going to give her a gentle tap across the face just to try and maybe, like, just shock her out of it a little bit.
Yeah, she still doesn't really respond.
Would Rose have anything like smelling salts or anything?
It's very possible. Make me a first aid roll, please, Rose. Oh!
Get it out of the way early. Get it out of the way early.
Get out of the way early. She just doesn't seem to respond to anything that you do, and the rain is absolutely beating down. There's lightning flashes around you. In fact, a lightning bolt strikes a tree nearby, which kind of explodes at that point.
Oh!
Yeah, it makes everybody jump.
Hector, I think we need to...
Yes, can we squeeze everyone into the car?
It's your car. Can it take 5 people?
And a squeeze.
Okay. You manage to guide her into the car, wedged in between Grace and Dr. Jones in the back. What's Dr. Jones been doing while this has been going on?
Probably just observing and making note of what's going on. Sorry, I was getting dinner ready.
Dr. Jones, as I say, you see them bringing this woman into the car. You see the lightning flash. Actually, as the lightning flashes, can you, Dr. Jones, make me a spot hidden roll, and I require a hard success, please.
Ooh. Woo!
Very nice. Okay. The lightning strike startles you as it hits the tree. Startles you, but you're not sure. But for some reason, the light seems to linger a moment longer than what you would expect. Should just be a trick of the rain, maybe. Maybe something you imagined. I don't know.
Also, hello back to chat.
Back in the car, Rose, with the map, you that a few hundred yards up the road there is a gas station and a roadside diner.
Look, shall we head to the diner over there? That's up the road. You know, I think a good drink of coffee will probably, heat everyone else up, and maybe we'll get some sense out of this lady.
So, just for reference, the car accident happened at the bottom of the map here, and you can see on your screen up the road towards the top of the map there is a collection of buildings. That's the gas station and diner.
Yeah.
Again, crawling very slowly through the rain, not daring to go more than above 10 miles an hour. You eventually arrive outside the diner, and you find your way is blocked by what looks like a cattle truck that is strewn across the road.
Seems we're not the only people who've been having trouble travelling this tonight.
No, the rain's definitely messing people up.
Yeah, guess we better... Yeah, guess the diner it is.
You see that there are lights on inside the diner, and you can see movement through the windows. It looks like some people are inside the diner already.
I think we'll go in and try and make ourselves comfortable, don't you?
Yeah, see if we can get some food for this poor young woman.
And a nice stiff black coffee will do.
Yeah, better than any smelling salts.
Moving swiftly through the maps. So you enter the diner, and if you look at the right-hand side of the map, you walk in, and the first thing you notice is that there's light. After all the darkness you've had for the past hour or so, there is light. You enter, one of the lights is flickering, and there's that buzzing noise that you get when the bulb is trying to decide whether or not it's going to blow. In one corner there's a jukebox which is trying its best to play tunes, some jazzy tunes, but it's having a hard time fighting against the rain outside. People in the diner. To your left, as you enter the diner, the door is down here in the bottom left-hand corner. In front of you, you see at a table an elderly couple, leaning over the table and whispering to each other, holding hands with each other, like whispering to each other in low voices. Behind the counter, you see a young woman, probably 20s if that, pouring coffee out of a jug. To your right, as you enter, you see a bearded man holding a coffee cup tightly in both hands, and fussing over him, you see a larger man, probably a somewhat round man with a bald head. And as you enter, you can hear snatches of their conversation. What did you say it was drove you off the road? It was some sort of light, some sort of dead light. It just appeared right in front of me. I swore to avoid it, and my truck ended up in a ditch. What do you mean a dead light? What are you talking about? No, that's what I saw. Some sort of dead light in the road. As you enter, the young woman behind the counter looks up at you and says, "Kitchen's closed, but we got lots of coffee. You want coffee?"
Sounds a perfect plan.
Yes.
We'll get 5, please.
Take a seat any way you like. I'll bring the coffee over. Let's bring you into this map, actually. I'll bring you into the map, and you can position yourselves as you wish. You should have control of your counters. So you can sit where you wish. And of course you'd bring the young woman in with you.
Probably somewhere quiet.
Okay. Rose is leading the way up to a far table.
Yeah, I'll probably make sure the young woman is sat down, and then leave her in Rose's care, so I just scurry back to the people talking at the entrance. Wait, well, that sounded good.
As you sit down and the young woman brings some steaming hot cups of coffee over, she looks at the girl and she says, "That's Amelia Webb, isn't it? What's she doing down here? She lives with her grandfather at the top of the hill. What's she doing down here?"
She seemed to be walking down the middle of the road. We just found her there.
No code on, no protection. In this weather, she must be mad.
That's what we thought. That's why we thought we'd get her to shelter and try and get her warmed up. Is she usually this quiet?
Don't usually see her that much. I only really see her when she drives past her in that black sedan of hers. I've never really spoken to her. I know her by sight more than anything else. What's she doing down here?
Is there any way to contact her home?
I'm
sure her father's probably worried sick about her.
She lives with her grandfather. Her parents passed away a number of years ago. There's a telephone in the office of the petrol station, but the lines are down in the storm.
Makes sense. Annoyingly.
We have her address. Maybe we could take her back home.
Well, she lives quite near here, actually. If you go a little bit further up the road, there's a turning off to the left. It goes up the hill. I don't know if you want to risk it in this, but they'll be very treacherous. She lives in a cottage at the top of the hill, very near here.
Do we know when this storm's supposed to pass?
You'd have no idea.
Weather.
Yeah, weather. Weather be. And again, nearby, you hear the elderly couple, like talking to each other in hushed tones, like looking at Amelia. Goes, "Was that Amelia Webb? Well, I'm sure that's Amelia Webb. Oh, her grandfather must be very worried about her. What's she doing down here in a night like this? I don't know. Poor thing must be soaked through." Hector, what are you doing?
Oh, I've overheard the conversation that these two over here were having, so and I come over here and and take out a slightly damp notepad that I tried sheltering in my jacket, and a pencil. Runs less, I think. And so what was that? What was that about a deadlight?
And the man sitting down. I'll give you some names. The man with the beard, the truck driver, is called Jake Burns, and he says to you, you probably he said "Calm down, Jake. Calm down. What are you doing? You don't want everybody to overhear." And Jake Burns looks at you and says, "Yeah, young man. It was a light on the road. I was just driving along, heading towards Ipswich, when this light suddenly appeared in front of me. I turned to avoid it, and I just crashed the truck outside."
Oh, so it was so you saw it just outside here?
I saw it for a moment. Then, when I looked again, it had gone.
Oh, and how is the light dead?
You looked at it, and I just felt cold inside.
Oh.
You believe me, don't you? Sam here won't believe me. You believe me, don't you?
Yeah, there's all sorts of strange things in this world to be discovered.
See, this young man here believes me. Why don't you believe me, Sam? And Sam just looks, and the other man, Sam, he looks at you just incredulous. I've got some pictures here. Let's show you some pictures. I'm on top of this. Show you that. Here we go. Character portraits. So these are the two people with whom you are currently talking. Sam Keelam and Jake Burns. For the other people, the waitress with the coffee introduces herself as Mary Laker. Picture of her here as well. And the young woman with you, soaked through, Amelia Webb. Here we are. Looking very battered and bruised and very disheveled. Let's see. Could I have a luck roll, please, from Grace, Rose, and Dr. Jones?
Yep.
Yes.
There it goes. Sorry, luck roll, was it?
Luck roll, please, yes.
Before Mum and Dad come in looking for the cat.
And, yep. Okay, I'm gonna give it to, I'm gonna give it to Dr. Jones, actually. Dr. Jones, with the coffee that you just had, with the rain outside and the time since you left Arkham, you suddenly realise you need to use the bathroom.
Hey, I'll be right back.
You have to walk, and Mary will direct you outside the door, so you have to go outside the door, work your way round in the rain, round the side of the building, and she tells you that the bathroom is here, this room here. As you do so, the old man stands up. Yeah, you can move it directly there, that's fine, we can take it as read. Stands up as well and says as well, please excuse me, dear, I'll be right back. I must use the conveniences. And he also makes way out, and you kind of bump into each other outside the toilet. But he says, "Oh, no, please, you were here first. Don't mind me. I've got an umbrella. I'll keep the rain off me. You please go first."
All right.
And he's waiting outside. The lock on the door is somewhat rusty. It takes you a few moments to get it closed. As you're there in the bathroom, you suddenly hear outside, "Hey, wait! What's that? What's that? Ah! Ah!" And you see a glow around the edges of the door. As you're in there, a blue glow around the edge of the door, and you just hear this plaintive scream from outside.
Whoa.
What do you do?
Can I go out and investigate?
You can. It takes a bit of time to work the lock. As I said, the lock is quite rusty and quite stiff, but you get outside, and as you step outside, there is no sign of the old man. You look left, you look right, there's no sign of the old man. And the rain just like patters down, and as you look where the rain patters down, and just like some messy, sort of like muddy, dusty stuff at your feet. It gets washed away quite quickly with the rain. Making your way back. Okay. Make your way inside, and you see the old woman sitting there, just sipping her coffee, waiting patiently for her husband to come back.
This just seems like a good time to reconvene.
Do you tell us what you've seen or heard?
A man disappeared.
Oh, really? Flips over a notebook, the notes on another page.
Yes, and there was a blue glow.
A glow, you say? Huh, that gentleman over there was talking about being driven off the road by a strange glow on the road near here. He called it a dead light.
Almost as if there's something else on the road or out there in the rain. Using the rain as a bit of a cover.
And there was no one else around that you saw.
Well, we can go investigate now.
Yes, let's.
I would suggest maybe keeping close to the building.
Oh yes, we don't want
Not
to get
being
too
out
wet.
in the open. Well, no, I was more thinking that, you know, if roads are out in the open, aren't they? There's nothing sort of around them.
My only other question is, what do we do with the girl?
Oh, yes, did you find
Stay
out
in the
anything
cafe for a
about her?
bit.
We can't. I feel bad leaving her here. She apparently lives up the road.
So,
We're not
so do the people
leaving her.
here.
We're just popping out.
Well, if the people here know her, they can keep an eye on her whilst we're out.
At this moment, the girl suddenly like snaps up and just calls out, "Grandfather! Where's grandfather? What happened to grandfather? What happened to Has he been
with you?
hurt?" No,
Rose is gonna. Sorry, go on.
No, you carry on. Carry on.
No. I thought Christy was gonna say something. That was all.
Slow down, man.
No, I mean,
Christy.
I said, I asked, when she stood up and said that, I immediately said, was your granddad with you?
No, we were at the house. We were up at our cottage, and two men broke in, and I don't know what happened after that. Next thing I know, I'm here. Is he all right? I need to get back there. I need to get back there. I need to get back home. I need to see if he's all right.
Oh, looks.
Well, it's dangerous to be out there alone at the minute. Let us join you.
Yes, we can. Well, I guess it looks like we can either take a quick look, take a quick look around where the disappearance was now, or go straight to the house with him.
I would say maybe get her home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The
We
poor
can
dear is
always
very
return back.
distressed.
Grandfather. Hey, so what is the plan?
I was going to say, drink up your coffee, dear. It'll do you the world of good.
But grandfather, is he all right? He could be hurt.
Let's get you warmed through first, and then we'll have a look.
And she'll reluctantly start sipping her coffee. And as she does so, you see that she's wearing something around her neck. Picture of it here. It's a disc, a medallion covered with strange symbols that you don't recognise. You didn't see it before because it was like covered with the clothes and the rain made it hard to see, but now that you're indoors and she's calmed down a bit, you can see this thing quite clearly.
Amelia, that's a very interesting piece of jewellery you have there. Might I inquire as to where you got it?
Oh,
I could quite easily fancy myself wearing something like that.
grandfather gave it to me. He said it was his father's. He passed it down to me. He said it would bring me luck.
Can I try and see if I've heard any stories about anything like this?
Yes. This will be a no roll, which is your education, but I'll have to ask for a hard success. So roll your education, and you're looking for a hard success.
So there's. I'm trying to find it.
Education's
It's up
at the top of the sheet.
Oh, one of the
Yeah.
top ones. Okay.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, you rack your brains, but you've never really heard anything like.
You could
anything
use
like
luck.
I'm not using like 50 luck or so on there. I'm not using all my luck to still get a failure.
This. I mean, you could use 49 luck and make that a success.
I clearly can't count. It's still no.
Fine. Yeah, you're racking your brains, but you've never heard of anything like what's happening here. People disappearing, strange lights on the road, nothing like anything you've come across, either read or experienced.
Alright, back to the
shall
car
we,
then.
Yes, let's try and keep us as dry as possible, and let's drive safely, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that everybody going with everybody going together?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Very well. We'll go back to
You know, I can't speak for other people.
Go back to the map of the area. And I got my directions wrong. Amelia directs you back down the road, back down the way you came, and you didn't see it before, but there is a turning a narrow path that winds up around a hill, and she points up there and says, "That's the road up to our cottage."
As we're driving, I ask if anyone has any weapons on them in case we come across any of these parallels.
I'm not really a fighter. I can punch someone if needs be, but I don't think it's going to do much. I'm not exactly big.
As you're driving along, again, there's lightning flashes, there's rolls of thunder. Would anybody like to speak to Amelia as you're driving along?
Rose would probably be just making sure she was okay, kind of trying to ask about her, kind of what they do for a living, that kind of thing.
Oh, my grandfather, he's a doctor. He works in a hospital in the city in Ipswich for a number of years, but when he had to care for me, he took a cottage out here and he just sees local patients now. I had to go away for a bit, but I've been back. It's been about 7 months since I moved back in. He's not well. He has a heart condition, and he knows he has a heart condition, and he's gotten worse over the time. But he's been nothing but kind to me.
Maybe you can teach me a few things or thing or two.
I'm sure he'd be
I'm
happy
in the
to.
medical field, so I was trying to become a doctor.
I'm sure he'd be happy to. I just hope he's okay.
Yes, well, sure he is.
And again, rain lashing to the car. You can hear it lashing against the roof of the car, lashing around you, making the road very treacherous. Can I have another drive auto roll, please, Hector?
Yeah, so like, I'm definitely not talking to her because I'm focused on the road, any dead lights, or any grandpas.
Be right back. I'm just sorting the cat.
Did I not click? I guess I didn't click. Rip!
I'm going to say that on this one, you feel the car slipping, and you'd probably take a lot longer than you would normally take. The penalty for this is going to be time more than anything else, I would say. Just like, inching your way along, you're now probably down to like 2 or 3 miles an hour. It'd almost be quicker to walk it. But again, that represents its own hazards. And you can see Amelia kind of getting more and more agitated as you go along. But eventually, after a while, you do arrive at the cottage, and I'll just describe the cottage to you. Do you have a picture of it? I don't have a picture of it this time, so I'm just going to have to describe this to you. The cottage. Hello.
Hello, sorry, I'm back.
So this is a single-story building. Behind it, there's a small barn, and I will just bring us to the map. Just bear with me one moment. Do talk amongst yourselves as I'm doing this. The one thing I wasn't quite ready for, please bear with me. No. So I'm just, yeah. I'll just put you on the map now. Sorry about that. Dr. Jones. Grace and Rose. You arrive at the cottage, you pull up outside the door. Oh. And you probably see that, so I shall reveal it as we go. As you approach the front door, you see the front door is not only unlocked, it is open and banging open and shut in the rain. As you approach, can I please ask you all to make me spot hidden rolls?
Yeah. No.
Oh.
Hey!
Is that everybody?
Yeah.
Spot hidden,
I-
please. Yep.
Spot hidden. Okay. It's on the list, isn't it? Is it? Yeah.
alphabetical,
Yeah,
yes.
skills.
Yeah.
Hey, woo!
Well, with that, I'm going to give it to Grace. Grace, as you approach the house, you're the one who sees this first. You see a crowbar lying on the path leading to the house.
From the thieves, obviously. Or we take it it's from thieves. You didn't come running out with a crowbar, did you?
Crowbar? No. No, I didn't have a crowbar. I don't think grandfather has a crowbar. You also see near
Must
the
have been
crowbar.
something that they've dropped.
You also see near the crowbar some scuff marks, almost as if it looked like someone may have slipped and fallen, then got up again.
Yeah. As if they were running away, which would be natural if they're trying to flee from a crime.
Just unveil a bit of the house because, as I said, the door is hanging open, and Amelia more or less just like runs up the stairs into the house, crying out, "Grandfather!" and into the house.
Rose will follow quickly after, kind of saying, "No, don't run in."
And
I
Go on.
pick up the crowbar and follow, so it's like it's
Okay.
something in my hands in case of something.
Amelia stops in front of a door, just where she's standing right now. I'll just show you that this is a door. No, it's not right. I'll just show you that this is a door. So there's a door there. She stood at it, and the door is open, and she looks inside the room, and you see the blood drain from her face. She doesn't scream, but she looks like she's shocked by what she sees.
Rose is going to have a look through the door.
Okay. You see the following, and I'll describe this to you before I draw it out. You see a room. It looks like a reception. There is an armchair. There is a fire. You see a table. You see an armchair. But the main things you see are an older man slumped against an armchair with his shoulder covered in blood, his face ashen, and you see what looks like you assume you see it's a man, but it's only the top half of a man. The bottom half of the man appears to have been turned into ash. His joints are self-dislocated. He has this visage of horror and terror on his face. And once again, I have a picture of this.
Is this the slumped over man that's got all the joints?
There's two people in this. There are two people in this room. There's the man who slumps next to the armchair, and the man who is missing the lower half of his body. I need you, Rose Preston, to make me a sanity roll.
Yep. Of course it's a failure. Running with tradition there.
Yeah, and it is 1d4 plus 1 sanity loss.
Everyone?
No, just for Rose.
Oof. Ow.
Rose Preston, can you make me an intelligence roll, please?
Oh no! Oh no!
You managed.
Oh, good.
You just managed to your like medical training kind of takes over, and you manage to compartmentalize what you are seeing, so you're not affected by it for the moment. But that's very, very, very close. So you have lost your 5 points of sanity, though. What would you like to do?
She kind of like takes a couple of deep breaths and turns to oh, sorry, just remembering the character names. Says to Jules, let's just keep Amelia out of the way for now, can you?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Rolls up her sleeves and walks into the room to try and work out what the hell happened.
And just to say, none of the others, Jones, Grace, and Hector, have seen what you have seen. What would they like to do?
I mean, I was hoping to like encourage everyone to get in, so we could try and shut this door that's swinging open.
I mean, have we not entered the house yet?
I think you've entered the house,
Yes,
but only
sorry,
as far as the hallway. You haven't looked into this room yet.
Yeah. I would suggest maybe we shut the door and
Yep.
and sort of cool down the hallway.
Okay.
You know, what's happening down there? Do you need our help?
I think it's best you don't see what I've just seen. And Rose is going to walk into the room and try and work out what happened.
The rest of you, please feel free to explore the rest of the house if you wish to.
What are the doors that are joined to this hallway? Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Now that you've seen the main thing, I'm happy to show the rest of them. So the rest of the house, you see, next to the room where the remains of these two people are, the door immediately next to it leads to a kitchen. Looks like there's enough utensils and supplies in there for 2 people. Going around in the L shape, the door here leads to what is obviously a study, which contains a desk, a chair, looks like a locked bureau. This is a bedroom, looks like it's a man's bedroom. Toilet at the top. This door here leads to a lady's bedroom, with another, what looks like a study here, much less furnished than the one down here. And there's also some stairs here that lead downstairs into a cellar. And it's also worth saying at this point that the lights do not work. You flick the switches, but the lights do not work.
Weather.
Rose. You examine the bodies. Can you make me a medicine roll, please?
What, sorry?
A medicine roll, please.
God.
Rip.
Dice are not kind tonight.
Again, I'm going to say that this just takes time more than anything else. You think, although you can't confirm it, you don't think he died as a result of his shoulder wound.
Okay.
That's all I can give you for. That's all I can give you for that. The other man's remains are. You have no idea. You can see without looking too hard. You can see that his features are contorted in agony. You can see his joints have been self-dislocated. The lower half of his body is just reduced to ash. Puts you in mind of some like intense heat or a fire or something that just seems to have burnt him from the inside out. You see his skin is blackened and blood blotched, and his eyes are red. Near to the body, I won't make you roll for this. Near to the body, you see a crude mask made of sack material. It's got like the eyes cut out. You see a single-barreled shotgun lying next to the body, and that's all you can see at this point. Anything? What would you like to do? Anything further? You would have to.
First off, I'm going to have a look at the mask. Is it anything that I would potentially recognise? Maybe
it's just a
read about or anything?
It's just a very crude mask. It's just like a sack that's had eye holes cut out of it.
Okay. And there was no like bullet holes on any of the bodies or anything, was there?
Now that you look at the old man, you see that his jacket has had some bullet holes where the blood is coming from.
Okay. And he's definitely dead.
He's most definitely dead, yes.
Yeah, okay. Just worth checking. Oh, this is interesting. I wonder what went on here.
Point out, searching the bodies is always an option, if you wish to.
I was going to say, I'm going to do that.
Who are you going to search? Which body are you going to search first?
Let's do the least bloody one first.
This is the old man. Yep. He's not carrying much about his person. The main thing you find is a pocket watch, and attached to this pocket watch you find a small key. Not the key for a door, more like the key for a cabinet or a desk or something.
Okay.
If you search the other bits you find a bit more. You find 2 spare shotgun shells in his pocket. You find his wallet, in which contains a $1 bill, a gas coupon, and a photograph. A folded up photograph. Would you like to unfold the photograph?
Yes, I would.
This is what you see in the photograph.
Oh.
Oh, isn't that the girl from the cafe?
Things are getting more interesting.
Saxophone in the distance.
So, is there any ID in the wallet?
There is not, no.
Okay, I'm gonna pick up the shotgun, take the shells, take the wallet, and take the shotgun as well.
One other
and
thing.
The pocket watch and key.
One other thing you notice now that the initial shock has passed. Lying nearby, you see what looks like a metal box. It's lying face down. Its lid has been open. It's lying face down. It's roughly 16 inches by 9 inches. and it's got like little up in the air,
It's got a little what? Sorry.
like clawed feet corner, a clawed foot at each corner, but because it's upside down, they're sticking up in the air.
I'm going to pick up the box, and if it's not already open it.
It is open, actually. The lid is flown open, and you do notice it's sort of like a strange smell, and there's some sort of like waxy substance around the lid. Inside the box, it appears to be lined with what you imagine to be lead. You've probably come across lead in your training. This looks like it's lead. But as you hold it, as you hold it, you feel uneasy as you hold it. No real reason why, you just don't feel right holding it.
Okay, I'm gonna take everything and rejoin the rest of the party and shut the door behind me.
Did you close the box?
I'm gonna take the box with me.
Do you close it though?
Well, I'm assuming because I'm carrying it, it would be easier to close.
Okay. Would anybody else like to investigate any of these rooms that have been uncovered?
Well, I was thinking of like leading Amelia to this dining room to try and get her to sit down.
So that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. We can move Amelia in there. Grace, what are you doing?
Sorry. I mean, I'll follow the others into here.
Okay. And do we have a Brian back with you? Do you have a Brian back?
Yes.
Yeah. What is Dr. Jones going to do?
Keep an eye on the kid.
Everybody's in the kitchen then. She is shocked, rocking back and forth. Not quite as bad as she was when but grandfather, what happened here? I don't know what happened. All I just remember two men bursting in, and then there was this light, and I don't know what happened after that. I don't know what happened after that. And she just like buries her head in her hands. Oh, grandfather, what happened to you?
The light, was it in here? Did it like flash at you while the men were in here, or did you run out and then see the light?
I don't remember. I think what I remember is one of them, and you can see like the look on her face as things start coming back to her. It's like one of them pointed a gun at a shotgun. I think it was a big gun at grandfather, and then there was this crash, and then there was this light, and that's the only thing I can remember. Grandfather, what happened to you? Someone's redeemed a stretch. I'll just do this quickly. There we go. Good. Always stretch. Rose, do you show Amelia the things you found?
I would have probably walked in not knowing any the wiser, to be honest, but
I imagine the shotgun is visible.
I would say that she looks at the box and she says, "That box that was on the mantelpiece in the room next door. Grandfather told me never to touch it. He said it was important for his work." And then she sees you're like holding the fob and says, "That's grandfather's desk key. He kept it locked at all times. Didn't want me to see what was inside it."
yes, these were in the room with them. The box was open. I'm just going to put it down on the table here. I feel a little weird holding it.
So were both the men then in there, or?
Just one of them, and I'm sorry to say, Amelia, my dear, I think your grandfather's dead.
And she just like buries her head in her hands and just like starts sobbing. Oh, grandfather, grandfather.
What is more curious, though, he seemed to have died of what I can tell. This holds up the shotgun and then passes it to Jones and passes over the ammo. But the other body seemed to have, as far as I can tell, disintegrated or been burnt in half.
I don't know. I don't know if grandfather. Maybe he had some notes on it in his desk. I don't know. He never let me see them. He never let me touch the box.
Probably will have something to do with what happened here then. Is his desk this room just here?
Yes, you would have seen that as you opened the doors. Yeah. Would you like to investigate the desk, Hector?
Yeah. I try to give Amelia a pat on the shoulder, so it's like,
okay.
She's going through a lot.
I was going to say, while Hector's doing that, Rose is going to find the makings of a cup of tea to give Amelia.
A night for strong beverages, clearly.
So
and she's going to, if there's any booze around, she's going to top it up with that.
So this study, you see lots of, the desk is covered with like old letter records. You see like bookshelves with out-of-date books on medicine around. You see display cabinets filled with butterflies of various species. And the desk itself, it's a roll-topped bureau, able to easily unlock it and roll it back. And you find a few things of interest, actually. You find folded dollar bills in the sum of $600. You find an account book marked with the Arkham First National Bank. And if you leaf through it, the final balance at the end reads $19,000. You find a jar of some funny smelling wax ointment. And can you make me a spot hidden roll, finally, please?
Is that everybody or just...
Just Hector for looking through the desk. Buried under all the other things that you find a small black leather-bound journal.
Oh.
It is up to you when you wish to read it, whether you wish to read it to yourself, whether you wish to read it with the others.
I think I might sort of like leave the money but maybe a jar of wax.
Okay, so you're taking...
Take the jar of wax in the journal, and I can tell them that it's all like that.
Okay.
There was a bank full of money in there.
Okay. Would you like to read the journal?
I'll take it to the. My feeling is I should take it to the others. This is either very bad or very good.
Okay, one moment, please. Turn to the...
That feeling like you would when you may uncover a bomb.
You return to the kitchen, and by now Amelia has calmed down a bit. I think Rose has managed to fix her some strong coffee. The other two, Grace and Dr. Jones, are there. Would you would you like to show them what you discovered, Hector?
Yeah, so like there was money in there, bank accounts, so like Ipswich doctors get paid well, clearly. So like this wax, puts it down on the table, and a journal.
I'm going to ask the question again. Would you like to read it?
Yes!
Right, my next question, would you read it to yourself or would you read it out loud?
I'm not reading out loud. We can reading out loud from a book you find in a Cthulhu scenario without knowing what it is sounds like a recipe for trouble.
So you're just going to read it. So you're just going to read it to yourself.
I mean, like, I have it open so people can look over my shoulder or whatever easily.
Yeah, I must say that this is where the content warning does come in. So if you do feel not comfortable, let me know and we can skip over it. But Stanza, would you please read the first page of the journal? The transcription is underneath the image.
Okay. The useful, if unorthodox, resident of the casket, our Sin Eater, is, as far as I can ascertain, no creature currently known to science. Where it came from, and when, I do not know, nor did my predecessor from whom I inherited it, though it is undoubtedly many centuries old, if not more. Its uses have been many over the years, though it has predominantly been employed to rid certain local socially conscious families of unwanted offspring, be they the result of centuries of inbreeding, unfortunate accidents, or other unwholesome activities. The legality of the creature's use is debatable. Its efficacy is not, even in such cases where death by other means proved intractable. My conscience in this matter, and of those who came before me, is clear, for many of the children would never have survived regardless, given their deformities or other less obvious abnormalities. As for the rest, the Lord does not suffer such a blasphemies to live.
Turn the page 2.
As in all things, safety first. Should the Sin Eater escape its confines, then the only way to recall it is to provide it with a suitably prepared patient, oh my, such that it becomes satiated and lethargic, and willingly returns to its coffer. Inscribe the spiral mark, shown, in blood, preferably the patient's, but not essential, on the patient's forehead. I stopped for a moment and glanced at Amelia's forehead.
Yeah, forehead is clean. Just that bruise.
Okay, it's just a bruise. Just a bruise. The patient does not need to be a child, but it must be a human and naturally alive at the point of contact. Experiments with animals and corpses carried out by my antecedents were, apparently, most unsatisfactory. If the patient is conscious, then they will need to be suitably restrained. Once all preparations are complete, perform the recitation as phonetically transcribed below, and permit the Sin Eater to perform its duties, after which it will return to its casket. Once it is within, close the lid and seal it immediately with a liberal application of the aromatic wax ointment. That'll be that.
Page 3. Good luck.
Hey makashmane sak bize hef kayishe hey when he's in nakan with he's the name. This is why this is the part that definitely didn't need to be read aloud so like it yet. I was told the Sin Eater can be summoned and directed to seek out a person at some distance if the correct phraseology is used, this being subtly different to the procedure previously noted, requiring modification to the symbol pattern and phrasing, and of course that is the part that's ripped out. And along with a warning. I assume that neither of the gentlemen next door had any scraps of paper on them.
Final
Just
page.
what was in the wallet.
And the final page.
Oh.
You don't need to read all these out, but it's enough to know that this is a list of dates and numbers.
Perhaps the... I wonder if these were times that he used the Sin Eater, and so like when he did and how much he was paid.
Okay.
That's my theory.
And you say you've left it open on the page for everybody to read over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Who would have read this along with Hector?
Rose probably would have, yes.
I'll be looking over it. I was going to say, sounds like a fun Sunday afternoon activity.
The Jones as well?
Yes.
Well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is you can all add 1 point to your Cthulhu mythos.
That's good news.
It's both good and bad news, I reckon.
Once you've let me know once you've all done that. The bad news.
Assume I edit. There we go.
Edit, then you can add the number. The bad news is.
No, sorry. Didn't mean to roll that. Sorry.
The bad news.
Where is it found, the Cthulhu mythos?
10 columns. Yeah.
It's one of the skills.
I see it. Yeah.
Once you've all done that, the bad news is you all lose 1d4 sanity.
No save, only sanity. Great.
I was going to say, does it matter that I already lost quite a lot before, Geoff? Or am I getting the rules
At the
wrong?
moment, now, you're fine. The only thing to watch for is if your sanity dips below a fifth of its starting value. But since you, what was your starting value? 60. And you're down to 55, 50. You're fine for the moment, but 4 more points of
54.
sanity. No, not even 4 points. Minus 12. You're still fine for a bit. You got some. Once your sanity dips to 48, that's when you start running into problems. Oops, my mouse has gone all over funny. And Hector, for making the realization that this is in fact a list of dates and payments, can you make me a separate sanity roll?
Oh no! Oh, hooray! Okay. I am fine.
Fine. No
No.
sanity loss for that. You're fine. No sanity loss for that. So, what would you like to do now?
Well, Rose is a bit disgusted.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Grace is curious about the last page. Trying to work out if it's has any correlations.
And once again, you hear the storm
nice.
outside. Rain just batters down.
That might explain why I felt a bit uneasy holding that box if it's had some sort of
The Sin
creature
Eater.
inside. It had like wax along the edge of it as well.
Mm.
Mhm.
Seal what seals it in?
I don't know about you guys, but I think this Sin Eater may have escaped.
Perhaps it was.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's this light that people have been seeing.
Possibly.
It's called a Sin Eater. Does it go after anything from the text that would suggest it goes after certain people in particular?
Well, it's certainly used on certain people in particular. Usually children.
We need to seal this thing back up
Hmm.
and then dispose of it
Quickly.
some way.
Should we perhaps check whether the other intruder is still in the house first?
Potentially, yes.
Well,
But
it.
it may
yes,
also be
but I would
lurking in
also-
the house.
So
Mm.
tread carefully.
I was also going to suggest that the crowbar and the skid outside might also suggest somebody running from the house.
Ah,
Very true.
well. I suspect. I wonder if they came for the sinister. In fact, they they probably this page at the very least.
Well, hopefully, this sin eater is still in the house. I think we need to tread carefully and try and keep it contained. It'd be helpful if we knew what it looked like.
Be helpful if we knew a way to contain it that it didn't involve killing someone.
I'm not it. I'm not volunteering.
Doesn't it also say if somebody reads those words that there's another way of doing it? Or am I just mistranslating?
Well, it could be directed to. It could be. Okay, let's check. It's after preparations, including a patient. Like you perform the recitation. The other way that's been torn out is the way to summon it on someone at a distance.
What would you like to do?
Then part of the page is gone, so
I think we need to continue exploring.
Okay. There's not much to
maybe
see.
split up into twos.
Do
We
you
can-
know anything about the basement, Amelia?
I think we had our here for the lights. Must have broken down or run out of fuel.
Did you ever go down into the basement?
Once or twice. When grandfather wasn't do it, so I've been down there. Just an old-fashioned generator down there.
Shall we go down and have a look? Maybe.
Can at least try to get the lights working again.
Yes.
Okay, the stairs down to the basement, as I say, are here. You do go past Amelia's room to do this. She doesn't really go in. She just like stops at the door, but then just like carries on. And there's
Amelia, my dear, are you sure you want to come with us? Would it not be better to stay safe?
I want to know what happened to grandfather. I want to find whoever killed grandfather.
Very well.
So downstairs, you trope down the stairs, and again it's dark, but you can assume you've got flashlights. That's not a problem. Dust, cobwebs, some packing crates, and the only other thing of interest is a generator that is not functioning.
am not very good at fixing electrical, so...
Also see there's some like cans, 1 or 2 cans of fuel nearby, petrol for it. Amelia points them out to you.
Alright.
One of them is about half full. The others are empty. As I imagine you do refuel the generator, or Amelia will do it for you if you wish. Yep. As the generator rumbles back into life and the lights come back on, again there's that buzzing and some lights flicker as if they're not sure. You hear what sounds like someone shouting and crying from outside.
Okay. Did anyone else hear that?
I think you would all have heard it, really. Yeah. I'll say you've all heard it.
Alright.
Yes.
Stay behind us, Amelia.
Banging.
They're probably...
You hear banging on the door because you closed the door. You hear banging on the banging on the front door.
Rose is going to look at the door, and is there a window in it or anything?
I'll say there's a little window in there. Yeah, a little window in there. You see...
What do I see out of it?
You see someone you've not seen before. A young man, quite heavily built. His face, he's smiling in this picture, but he's absolutely terrified. He's like, let me in, it's coming after me, let me in. And then a bit more banging, and then as you watch, he like stops, turns around, and you hear him scream as this like light just like shines around him. He continues to scream, and it's like he dissolves in ash right in front of you. Just this bright light. After a few agonizing seconds, the screaming stops and what's left of him collapses to the floor in a pile of dust. And Amelia, for a moment, you look into this outside and you see this bright light hovering around outside. And just for a moment, just for one moment, you think you see a face in it. A horrible, screaming, unearthly face.
Ooh. Yes, okay.
Amelia, can you make me
Do you mean
a
Rose?
sanity... No, Rose. Amelia? Rose, can you make me a sanity roll, please? You've just seen... That's going to be a 1 point of sanity loss.
Slowly ticking down.
And this light is just like outside, but doesn't come in. It just like hovers around outside the door, but doesn't try to come in.
I think we may have found our sinister. It is outside.
And it just killed again.
Yep. So, my next question is, if we are going to try and catch this thing, who do we use as bait?
As you're saying this, there's another flash of lightning. A lightning bolt that strikes down very close to where you are. And you're not sure, but you think you see it flinch.
Oh.
But then it's back again, hovering outside. But it's not making any move to come in.
What's the plan?
Oh, I mean, like, how much of this do you convey to us?
I would have been saying everything as it was happening.
Okay. Okay, so there's a chance that we could... I wonder if turning the power off and then luring it in and then turning it on again would trap it in here. If it's wary of coming into the light and it's wary of lightning.
Can I try something? But I want to run it past the group before I do. I want to open the door and see if it comes in.
That's fair.
Okay.
I mean, there's enough of us here, does it? Well, I suppose we'd only know unless we open up whether it only likes coming after one person or whether it gets freaked out if there's lots of people.
Hector, thoughts?
I won't object. I'm shaking a little though.
Okay. So Rose is going to stand in front of the door and just turn the handle and just slightly crack it open.
Okay. And you crack it open. And what are you doing exactly? Can you tell me what you're doing exactly?
I'm just waiting to see if it's going to make any sort of approach to the door.
Okay. It seems to just like hover about outside the door, but as you look at it, I need you to make me a power roll. And I require a hard success.
Ooh. Yay!
You stare at it, and you get the feeling it's staring back at you. But other than that,
I'm going to try and... Sorry, go on.
other than that, don't feel any real effect of it. Gonna.
Rose is going to kind of go, well, you're a curious little thing. Do you have any way to communicate with us?
This exists.
Do you know what this is? And she's going to hold the box out.
It doesn't really affect either way. It doesn't really go forward or go backwards.
Would you mind getting into the box, please?
Nice try, but it doesn't respond to politeness.
Well, this thing's just rude. Someone else have a go.
We've got to try saying those words.
Go ahead, be my guest.
And I'll whip out the page and I'll read out the words. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce it in real life. But...
you read the words, but has no effect. The thing just stays there.
If it's just gonna keep killing and we don't have any ideas,
Brian, Dr. Jones,
Yes.
can you make me a luck roll, please?
Hmm. No.
The bulb that was busy fizzing and flickering and buzzing, you hear a snap, and then the whole house goes dark. And then the creature starts moving forward. What do you do?
I'm willing to try the ritual. Need to get some distance to try and set this up.
You would be there as well.
Yeah.
Moving forward,
Rose.
inching forward.
Does
If
anything
you-
happen if we shine a torch at it?
You could try.
I would like to.
Nothing happens, I'm afraid.
Nope.
Just while we've got everyone here, Rose is going to kind of whisper into Hector's ears. If we're going to try the ritual, we do have a
Didn't hear that, sorry.
sacrifice, and she's going to like roll her eyes towards Amelia.
It doesn't actually have to be a child, as long as it's a living human.
Exactly.
which is inching forward. Did you shut the door when it started moving forward?
Yes, I would have.
That would be. Thank you.
You see a bright glowing spot appear in the centre of the door. Don't think it's going to hold for very long.
I don't think we have much time. We need to make a decision. Jones, Riley.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would say, do it.
As in Hector or Amelia?
I mean, I could always do it.
Okay, we have 2 willing volunteers.
Well, one willing volunteer.
Really?
Well, unless you're volunteering as well.
Hector
Yeah.
was frighteningly volunteering.
Oh, right, okay, sorry, I didn't pick up on that. But fair
Yeah,
enough.
so there you go. So you volunteered before me. It's only fair.
Right. Did it say what we actually needed to do for the ritual? I can't remember.
Yeah, a spiral mark in blood. Well, okay, it's not really a spiral. It's a square inside a ring. Preferably patient's blood. Tied down or unconscious, and then recite. And once it's fed and in the box, seal with wax.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm assuming Rosa have got a knife from the kitchen. She's going to prick Hector's finger with it,
Yeah.
and then kind of...
Should we do this in the study or something? Perhaps it's like, I don't know.
choose your battleground, really.
Just have a little extra distance from it.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Okay.
And Rose is going to kind of follow the ritual as best she can.
You would draw the mark on Hector's forehead,
Yeah.
reciting the ritual as you do so, and as you do so, the creature, the light, moves into the hallway, passes Dr. Jones, passes Grace, passes Amelia, and floats into the study and faces you, Hector. Hector, can you make me a power roll, please? And I require a hard success. You feel yourself unable to move as this thing looks at you. You get the feeling that it's appraising you like a predator appraising its next meal. And then it moves towards you, and you see tendrils of light. I think probably, Rose, you see this more than Hector does. Tendrils of light move forward into Hector's mouth and Hector's eyes and Hector's ears, as if the creature's trying to absorb itself into Hector's body.
Rose is going to open the box and start reciting the incantation while having the waxy bit kind of at the ready as well.
Okay.
To seal it in.
Hector, the pain is agonizing. You never have felt this pain before. Can you roll me a d10, please?
Ooh, flat D10. Fun.
D10 plus 5. So
Well, 11.
you lose 11 constitution as you feel this thing start to drain the life out of your body. Rose, can you make me do it a similar way actually. Can you make me a power roll, please, Rose? Okay. Rose, spend 2 magic points, please. But you feel the creature is still not really being pulled towards the box yet, as it continues feasting on Hector. Hector, can you roll me another d10? Plus 5.
Sorry, do I need to roll?
No, this is only
Nope,
Hector.
I'm the one dying. You're fine.
That's another 6 Constitution gone. Rose, can you make me another power roll, please, as you're desperately trying to recite the ritual before it kills Hector. Okay, another 2 magic points from Rose. Hector, roll me another d10, please. Another 8 Constitution points. Yep. What's your Constitution, by the way?
It's now 40.
Yeah, in love. Rose, make me another power roll, please. I like the way they.
Yeah, Rose is rocking.
You can sacrifice 3 magic points for that. How are you doing for magic points?
I'm down to 5.
Okay. Another d10 from Hector, please. Another 8 Constitution points from Hector. And Rose, make me another power roll.
Woo!
Another 3 magic points. And one last d10 from Hector, please.
I'm on 2 magic points.
Ooh.
12 Constitution
That's a
from 12 Constitution from Hector, please.
Oh, 12.
And
I'm not dead!
Rose, make me one last power roll.
Yeah!
You 0 out your magic points.
Yeah.
Hector, you feel this thing. It's like you feel your body just like start to slip away from you. You feel yourself start to go, but then suddenly the creature is pulled away from you and sucked into the magic box like the famous 1920s silent movie Ghostbusters. The light pours out of the box and it sucks this creature into it. Hector, what's your final Constitution score?
20.
You feel
Across
very
the streams.
You feel very drained by this. You feel almost on the point of death, but you're just hanging on there just by a thread. Rose, the creature sucks into the box, the light disappears. What do you do?
Yep. Sealing it up with the wax as it said in the instructions.
Seal it up, wrap the wax over it, it's shut, and yeah. Can you make me a sanity roll, please, Rose? Because you're holding this thing. You're still holding this thing, and it is incredible revulsion. Oh, I'm gonna have to ask for a D4 for that, please.
Come on, let's go insane.
Not before you've sealed the box, preferably.
So what's that in total for you?
That takes me down to 50. I started at 60.
2 points off going insane. You're 2 points of going off temporarily insane. Oh no, indefinitely
Oh, that's
insane.
a shame. I would have loved to have gone insane.
Oh, we can make you go insane if you want to. Actually, yeah, that's a good way to finish it. Holding this box, seeing what you've seen, something finally snaps in your mind. Can you please? Well, I'll give you the choice. It'll be a D8 this time. Would you like to roll a D8 yourself, or would you like me to choose something for you?
Oh, let's roll it myself.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold up, 1. Some from the things. 1, 2, 3, 4. What should we give? What's the table for that? I need a table for that. Psychosomatic disability. That's a good one. Can you roll me? Wait, you can either roll me. Yeah, roll me a d6, please.
Not a D67.
Just a d6. 2. You suddenly find you can't hear anything. You suddenly find you've gone deaf.
Okay.
Parts of your ears no longer function.
Okay.
You hear Hector breathing heavily. You hear the others probably rushing into the room finding out what's happened, but you can't hear any. You can see their mouths moving, but you can't hear them.
I'm just going to collapse on the ground
Yeah,
and start sobbing.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh thank God, oh thank God.
And as you do so, as the others come into the room, you hear the storm outside begin to abate, and you see the first rays of sunlight come up over the trees. It's morning.
I did wonder if it was causing all of that.
What will you do with the box now that you've got it?
Rose would probably, despite being disgusted by it, be clutching it as tightly as she could.
By burying it?
Somewhere no
Burn
one
it?
will ever find it. Like, put it in a safe and throw it in the sea. I don't know.
So, this brings us to the end of this story. In the coming weeks, the news of the deaths of Dr. Webb and the assailants and their states are in the newspapers, but the press ridicules really. There's like some suggestion of some sort of supernatural cause, but it's quickly ridiculed. Hector, your body is withered, and I'm gonna have to say you don't survive much beyond the end of the year.
Oh. Just I try pen the story, but it's like the one voice of truth in this.
Rose, you take the box, and what do you do with the box? Do you hide it? You do what was suggested?
I was going to say probably get a boat trip over to, say, well, it would be the Japan at the time, wouldn't it? Japan's or something.
Yeah.
And then when she thinks she's out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, she's just going to drop it in the ocean off the side of the boat.
You drop it in the ocean, you see it sink to the bottom. But every night your dreams are plagued by the vision of that face that you saw.
Mm-hmm.
You just see its staring eyes at you, its mouth open. Dr. Jones, what of you and your experiences?
I'd say he could probably go on with his life, making note of the strange happening that went on, and being prepared for other such things.
Mm-hmm. And Grace Riley, the private detective.
I mean, I'll probably meet up with the other half of our investigation company and tell them what had happened. It's up to them whether or not they believe me, and I would definitely start adding sort of supernatural cases to our list.
Broadening your repertoire.
Yeah.
That brings us to the end of this story.